year ago, the Chancellor Chargers, in their second year of existence, won a regional championship and made it to the state semifinals, where they were beaten right here at Chancellor High School by Southampton, the final 21-0. This year, the Chargers, Battlefield District champs, currently have an 8-game win streak and a regional championship again this year, and again are in the semifinals of the state high school playoffs. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Neville, along with Brian Higbee. And Brian, it's a different scenario, or at least Coach Miller is hoping for a different scenario, and he's also got a different opponent to worry about, and I do mean worry. It's the Tabb Tigers.
The Tabb Tigers, watching go through their pregame paces here, these guys are big, and they are probably going to be, no pun intended, the biggest roadblock that the Chargers have to get that state title.
Interesting, talking to Coach Miller earlier this week, he said, you know, physically Tabb matches up with Orange and Cortland from the Battlefield District, but as far as team play, this is probably the best team he'll face this season so far.
Absolutely. Tabb lost one game this year, 6-0 to Southampton. Since then, that was the second game of the season. Since then, perfect. And they've been beating people, shutting them out, 6 points, 7 points. This is going to be a real test for the Chancellor Chargers.
Tremendous defense, and of course offensively they've been scoring about 25, 30 points a game, and they have one of the best backs in the area and down their way and in the state in Simeon Tucker, over 2,000 yards rushing this season.
2,082 to be precise. Those are some real impressive numbers on the high school level, and I'm impressed. There's nothing more that you can really say about them. They have some other pretty good skill people, but when you look at that one man, 2,082 yards, that jumps right off the paper at you, and that's going to be a real concern for Coach Miller and his team.
I guess if we're looking at keys, looking at the size of the Tabb, can they handle the quickness of Chancellor, and by the same token, can Chancellor handle the size of Tabb?
That's the key question, the two key matchups that are going to determine who's going to advance to the state final next week and who's going to go home and say, what if, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Exactly. Well, we got the thoughts of Coach Scott Miller earlier this week, and here's his thoughts about today's game. Coach, I want to talk about, first of all, about the team. Second straight year you've made it to the state semifinals. Is the team more relaxed, more confident this year as opposed to last year?
No, I think they have a team goal and some ambitions that they want to meet and achieve, and each week's an important week because we do want to go one step further than we got last year, and we know we have a good, tough opponent to play against and have to be very prepared.
Right. How about that Tabb team that crushed Lakeland, your opponent this Saturday today? What do you think? What do you expect from them? What kind of team are they?
Well, they're a very good high school football team. They're going to throw the ball and run the ball equal proportions. Secondly, they got a very good defense, and they allowed something like 50 points up in the regular season, which means more than concentrating on Tabb, we're going to stop their offense and defend their defense, but we want to get our game better. We think we need to improve offensively and step it a notch up defensively and special teams. More concerned about our performance, take care of ourselves, and then we'll line up against a good team Saturday.
Now, last week against Loudon Valley, you got a tremendous boost early from the special teams. Is it going to take something like that also? I mean, you obviously like to get some kind of excitement going that early. Is it same situation? I mean, you like to get going early?
I think next games from now on, everyone's going to meet a tough opponent. Special teams may make a difference. Defense is definitely going to make a difference in the game. Our concern is right now we got to show up offensively. If we show up offensively, it's going to be a real good ball game. The team that makes the most mistakes may not win.
How about offense? I know you just touched on it a little bit about struggling the first two games of this playoff stretch run. What has it been, do you think, with the offense? They haven't been able to explode like they did in the regular season.
Well, no, I think practice time, when daylight savings and all that, is reduced some practice times. Offense is a practice unit. Defense is played on aggression and pursuit. Offense is played on technique and perfection. And we lost some practice time, and what we've done this week is gone back and re-emphasized some basic fundamentals, went back and ran a basic offense rather than trying to add on to our selection of plays and just improved on some fundamentals.
I want to talk real quick about Brian Ratliff. Melvin Davis and Rodney have been getting a lot of publicity about the way he has performed, I think, all year long, just exceptional for him.
Well, we told Brian in the beginning of the year, and he's done it every week, is you're going to go out there and don't make any mistakes. Be a team player. Make the big plays when they're capable to you. Throw the pass when you need to. And he's done it in Louisa on a third down crucial play completed. He did it in Cortland and followed up in there for a rushing touchdown. And he's made the big plays when we asked him to do or asked him to perform them, and he's been a consistent football player throughout the season.
Is Tabb going to be one of your, as far as physically, one of the biggest opponents you played this year?
I would say they're probably very comparable to Orange as far as size-wise. They got a few boys that are large interior players, and they got a few skill that has some size. I wouldn't say they're overly big than any opponent. In comparison would be Orange or Cortland.
Right.
But as far as grossly larger than any opponent. They're not. They may be the best opponent that we played, though, so far.
When I talked to Jesse and Troy Robinson after last week's game, talking about being at home, that's a tremendous advantage. I don't think a lot of people realize how much of an advantage that is. How much of an advantage is it for you?
Well, it's nice playing in front of the home crowd, and two, you get a lot more fan support there, and they're loyal supporters, and it's nice to be playing in front of them. Second, we don't have to travel, so we don't have to take any time away from our preparation. We don't have to get the kids up early in the morning, travel. We can get a good night's sleep and come home and play on the home turf.
Well, you'll be in front of the home folks again this Saturday. Continued success to you, Coach. You've done a marvelous job so far.
Thank you very much.
This time, take it one more step to the finals.
I hope.
Okay. Coach Scott Miller, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
That's it. And the thoughts of Coach Scott Miller. And interesting, Brian, he's concerned about Tabb, but he's also very concerned about his offensive unit. They have not performed the way they did during the regular season in these two previous playoff games.
That is a definite concern for Coach Miller. We've seen them so far in the two playoff games. They scored 21 points against Louisa, 28 against Loudoun Valley. Thank you very much. And even though they shut out Loudoun Valley last week, 8 points they allowed against Louisa. That's pretty good when your defense can hold them. But still, by the same token, they're going to have to get more consistency out of their offense and not depend so much as they did the last part of the season on their special teams. But by the same token, if their special teams comes up and plays to the level that they've shown that they're capable of playing, this could be a real interesting game.
It could be. I expect a low-scoring game. What do you think?
I would agree with that. If it's anything greater than about 21-14, 21-17, I would be very surprised.
So it's the Group AA state semifinals from Chancellor High School, Chancellor and Tabb, and we'll be back with the starting lineups and the opening kickoff on CV3 Sports today. Division 4 football championships. Mike Neville and Brian Higby along with you. As you can see, the crowd filling up pretty good on the Chancellor side. It's the Chancellor Chargers and the Tabb Tigers. And Brian, we were talking very briefly earlier in our pregame about the numbers of Mr. Simeon Tucker, just a junior, 2,082-yard rusher, and they run out of the I formation. You also get some help from William Buchanan, not really in the running department, but in the passing department. Buchanan, one of the best receivers. 22 receptions, is that right?
22 receptions, 436 yards for 7 touchdowns. And Buchanan also contributed just over 200 yards rushing and scored 5 touchdowns rushing as well.
And of course, between Tucker and Buchanan, 38 touchdowns that they have scored between them. So you mentioned both clubs, 11-1 coming in. Today's game is brought to you in part, by the way, by Purvis Ford, Lincoln Mercury on the Route 1 bypass in Fredericksburg. Specially arranged 9.9% bank financing and as much as $2,500 below factory invoice means double the savings at Purvis. Also by Action Carpet Cleaners. With Action, you get complete satisfaction. Call the true professionals at Action Carpets, 582-9386. As we now prepare for our national anthem, performed by the Chancellor High School Band. Ladies and gentlemen, with a great deal of pride, our national anthem. Another nice job by the trumpet quartet there for our national anthem. As you look at the home side of the field, the Chancellor Chargers and their fans. Last year, Tabb was beaten by another Battlefield District foe, Cortland. The Cougars beat them 28-7 last year, but a couple of things you might throw in there, Brian, was the fact that one of their leading tacklers, Griffin, I should say, did not play in that game. Melvin Griffin, number 55, the defensive end, 121 tackles a year ago. Didn't play last year. And then, of course, the big guy, Bjoring, 6'7", 280 pounds, was injured in the first quarter, and he didn't play either. So
remember that name. His number is number 75, Frank Bjoring. If the Chancellor Chargers are going to have any chance to win this game today, they're going to have to stop Frank Bjoring, 6'7", 285 pounds, and he's only a junior.
That's right. And of course, as far as the Chargers go, we talked about their offensive woes that they've encountered. It's kind of hard to say that when they've scored 21 and 28 points, but again, keep in mind the special teams helped set up one touchdown, blocked a kick for a touchdown. So it really has been the defensive unit and the special teams that has helped Chancellor in this playoff drive. But the Chargers have shown sparks of getting that offense going in the two games.
Exactly, and as I said earlier in our pregame, if Chancellor is going to have some kind of a chance in this game, their offense is going to have to get going. But by the same token, if it doesn't, then they may have to depend again on their special teams. Special teams may pull a couple surprises on us today. And if it does, it may be just enough for them to overcome this incredible size of this Tabb team.
So the Tigers of Tabb, as mentioned, 11-1 on the season, as is the Chancellor Chargers. They're now introducing the Tabb Tigers starting unit. Number 99 is the tight end, Greg Harris, 190 pounds, 6'3", junior.
And number 78, offensive lineman Bruce Wells. He's 6'3", 222 pounds, and he's a senior.
There's Melvin Griffin we talked about, offensive lineman. He goes both ways, 242 pounds senior.
And there's Mike Belanger. He's an offensive lineman and a linebacker. He's 5'11", 207, and he's a junior.
And here's number 66, Bart Brackett, 225-pound junior, 5 foot 10 inches.
And there's David Gardner, number 65. He goes both ways, offensive lineman, defensive tackle, 230, 6'3", senior.
And here's number 89, Jim Rourke, 190-pound senior, wide receiver. Got good size there at the wide receiver position.
And William Buchanan, number 15, he's a wide receiver and a defensive back. He's a senior.
Here's the quarterback, Wayne Hoskins, number 2, the Tiger quarterback, 170-pound senior.
And number 35, Kevin Mitchell, 5'11", 190, he's a junior.
He's the fullback. Here's Simeon Tucker, number 23, over 2,000 yards rushing. Of course, Tabb is known for great running backs. There's Dan Davis, also being introduced. And the rest of the Tabb Tigers and their head coach, Charles Hovis. As I mentioned, Tabb known for running backs, one Terry Kirby, who now performs very well, I might add it, to the University of Virginia.
Yes, indeed, until they had their little misstep at the end of the year there, losing 3 out of their last 4 games. Virginia was in the thick of the national title race. Now, well, they're pretty much an also-ran. They fell out of the top 25, but anything can happen.
So here's the starting units for the Chancellor Chargers, the Region 2 champions. It's Region 2 taking on Region 1, in case you were wondering, by the way. Tabb won the Region 1 championship. Here's Charles Beasley. They're introducing the defensive unit, number 20, and what a performer he has been both offensively and defensively, Brian.
There's Mike Reyna, number 60 for the Chancellor Chargers. He is a junior.
Here's number 55, Andre Roman.
Roman.
A sophomore, just a sophomore.
And there's Michael Brown. He goes both ways. He's 6 feet, 244 pounds, and he's a senior.
And here's Troy Robinson, number 84, a senior for the team is a defensive end, 202 pounds, 6 foot 4 inch.
And there's Mike Garcia, number 49. He's 5'9", 180. He's only a sophomore.
Here's one of your tough hard knockers right here. Jesse Skillman, number 40. He's a senior.
No, he's only a junior.
Yeah, 5'10". I thought he was a senior.
And Ian Edwards, linebacker. He's 6'2", 193. He's only a junior.
I thought both Skillman and Edwards were seniors.
And there's the man that really make things go on this team, Rodney Woodward, number 12.
He's a senior as Woodward. Here's number 43, Brett Tillett. He is a sophomore back, defensive back.
And there's the man that we talked about before, the spark plug on this defensive team, Sean Zykelhady.
Possibly the best defensive, possibly the best athlete is Zykelhady on the Chargers team. They're coached, of course, by Coach Scott Miller as the rest of the Chargers join the defensive unit. Should be a good one. It is Tabb and Chancellor, the Division 4 Group AA state semifinals. And we'll be back. We'll have more as we prepare for our opening kickoff on CB3 Sports from Chancellor High School. That was great. We are pumped.
Incorrect.
That's real funny, Frey.
Incorrect.
You can bring us up anytime. And welcome back, Mike Neville, Brian Higby, and the rest of the CB3 Sports crew along with you as we pleased to present the Group AA Division 4 state semifinal game. As you look at the captains out at midfield, Rodney Woodward, Charles Beasley, Sean Zykelhady, and Troy Robinson for Chancellor.
And number 22, Jason Dennison, is one of the co-captains for the Tabb Tigers. And I think Wayne Hoskins is the other one.
Okay, as you see the officials talking to the captains. And we'll see who wins the coin toss, if you will, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
While I search.
It's a brilliant sunny day here at Chancellor Stadium. Very, very few clouds in the sky, some vapor trails from some high-flying planes. It's almost like Indian summer here today, early September maybe. Definitely not the kind of weather you'd expect for the 1st of December.
Almost identical to last week. The only difference is the wind isn't quite as strong as it was a week ago.
Exactly. And the Tabb Tigers, the visitors, have won the toss. They will receive.
So the Chargers will kick off. I want to remind you, today's game is also brought to you by Downtown Garage and Auto Body. Stop by and see Darryl at Downtown Garage and Auto Body, where quality will prevail. And by Burger King, Route 3 West on Plank Road in Fredericksburg. Burger King, sometimes you just got to break the rules.
That's right.
So we are just about ready for the Group AA Division 4 state semifinal contest between Chancellor and Tabb. Glad you could be along with us. And of course, the winner, as I mentioned earlier, Brian, every high school player's dream of a state championship, and it's for Chancellor, second year in a row. Just their third year of existence. They're just 1 year away, or one game away.
One game away. That's really amazing. Such an amazing story that this team, third year in existence.
0-10 the first year, 8-5 last year, 11-1. It's just getting better. And as we mentioned, I thought there was a couple of kids that were seniors that are only juniors, so they've got a pretty good nucleus for next year.
That's exactly right.
Of course, they don't want to think about next year yet.
That's right. They got to think about here and now, right now. They got to get past this lineup of behemoths for the Tabb Tigers. I mean, there's no other way to describe them.
Dropping deep for Tabb, number 23 is Tucker. Also, number 15 is dropping deep for the Tabb.
And that's William Buchanan.
And over on the far side, I believe it's number 24, if I'm not mistaken. Well, that's Robert Barnes. Jeff Schwartzman will tee it up. There he is, number 5. And we're just about ready for the state semifinals, Group AA Division 4 from Chancellor High School. The crowd into it early. Boy, if Chancellor could get a start like they had last week, I think they'd be in real good shape. Says, ooh, a squib kick. Boy, good hands right there by number 65.
Number 65, that's David Gardner for the Tabb Tigers. He's a senior, 6'3", 230.
Boy, Tabb's going to start at their own 46-yard line.
That is not good. That's not good at all.
You've got a player down. Oh, they're saying now it's a referee. I don't know what happened over on the far sidelines, right in front of the Tabb bench.
My goodness.
And he's down for a little bit.
He looks like he's holding on to his ankle.
All righty, so we've got an injured ref. We'll be back. We'll have more of our coverage of the high school football playoffs on CB3 Sports.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the problem? Okay. And we are back. CB3's high school football playoffs. The Group AA Division 4 state semifinals from Chancellor High School. Mike Neville and Brian Higbee. Charge. Huh? Okay. The Tabb Tigers will start from their own 46-yard line.
And the Tabb Tigers have excellent field position here just for their first offensive play.
Kevin, is that better? Kevin? Is that audio better? Huh? Said it's... Where'd you go? Okay, we're ready to come up whenever you are. And welcome back, CB3's high school football playoff coverage. The Division 4 Group AA state semifinal from their own 46. Tabb on first down, I formation. Tucker the deep back. And on first down, they give straight ahead to the fullback, number 35.
That's Kevin Mitchell.
And Mitchell will get right up to midfield. Call it second down, 6 yards to go. I'm sure that Chancellor will be keying on Mr. Tucker today.
Oh, that's
that will
for
allow
sure.
Mitchell to get some yardage, I'm sure, also.
I'm sure that's exactly what they have in mind.
So on second down, quarterback Hoskins. Again, they work from the eye. And the turn fakes into the line. He's hit, but he gets it away to Tucker. Tucker straight on his one man, but then falls. He'll lose a couple of yards as Woodward comes up along with Andre Roman from the secondary and linebacking spot. Good pursuit that time. Beasley almost got the quarterback before he could get the pitch.
He almost did, but Hoskins got that ball away before he could get put on the ground. And then Tucker made a pretty good move outside, but not good enough, and he lost a couple yards.
So call it third down, 8 yards to go. Big play early for Chancellor's defense. Can they hold on 3rd and 8? See if Hoskins goes up top. He's going to, throws on the run, and it's caught. And looking for room, he's got a first down. And brought down inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. I believe that's going to be Harris, the tight end.
No, that's Jim Rorick.
Oh, okay.
Their wide receiver. He's a 6'2", 190-pound senior for Tabb.
Right. So the Tabb Tigers pick up a important first down on their first series. Ball resting at the 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Mitchell and Tucker in the I formation behind quarterback Wes Hoskins. They've got Rourke, and they got Buchanan in the slot. There's 78 moved.
Yeah, it was a little trying to get a little bit of a jump on the defense there. That's Bruce Wells for Tabb. He's a 6'3", 222-pound senior.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Tabb Tigers.
We were talking just before we came on the air, and I mentioned looking down the lineup for Tabb, they've got a preponderance of juniors on this team. They've got some experience with seniors, but they're going to come back real strong next year.
Both these teams.
Both of them. They could very well meet again next year.
Right. So 1st and 15. Again, Rourke and Buchanan. The pass for Buchanan. Oh! Woodward had it in his hands at the 30-yard line and dropped it.
Hoskins was aiming for number 15, William Buchanan, out there in the flat, and Rodney Woodward just stepped right in front of it and went through his hands.
So it'll be 2nd and 15. Oh, boy, so close yet so far.
Yep.
So second down, 15 yards to go. We're scoreless early in this Division IV state semifinal contest from Chancellor High School. Again, they've got Rourke with Buchanan in the slot, and again, a draw play to Tucker, looking for room, picking his way, and he's brought down as he gets inside the 35, down to about the 33-yard line, make it the 34-yard line. Good call that time on second and long.
I think Jesse Skillman was the one that brought him down on that play,
Yeah.
number 40.
Call it 3rd and 6. Last week, Skillman had a game-high 10 tackles against Loudoun Valley. So third down and 6 yards to go from the Chancellor 34-yard line. Hoskins again turns and again gives to Tucker. He stacked up that time. Good job that time by Andre Roman, number 55.
And he knew it too.
Yep.
He came out of that stack with his arms raised, and he did a real good job stopping that play.
So it's fourth down. They'll send Woodward deep. It looks like we'll see the first punt of the game from Tabb. Kind of surprised that they're punting, to be honest with you, because it's fairly deep in Chancellor territory. So on fourth down, and it's a good snap, and the punt is a line drive.
Kind of a pooch.
Woodward will let it go into the end zone. So the Chargers will start from their own 20 with the score, Chancellor nothing and Tabb nothing. We'll be back with more of our coverage of the Division IV State Semifinal Group AA game from Chancellor High School on CB3 Sports. Sorry, John, I shouldn't have went to break on that. Sorry.
It's 8:34 to go.
And welcome back. Mike Neville and Brian Higbee and the rest of the CB3 Sports crew along with you. Chancellor's first offensive series. There's junior quarterback, Brian Ratliff, number 13. Let's see if the Chargers get it going early. Here's Melvin Davis. Davis to the 20, 25, still looking for room, and he's pushed out of bounds over the 30 at about the 32-yard line. Well, we told you about that speed.
That's one of their two bread and butter plays they've used all year. And they did it again, Mike. I talked about it last week. It seems as though anytime they go to the left, it's Melvin Davis. When they go to the right,
exactly.
it's Woodward.
It's a 12-yard pickup. It'll be 1st and 10 for Chancellor. That should be a key you can look for all day, the speed of Chancellor getting to the outside. So on first down from the 32, and Ratliff gives into the line to the fullback Beasley. He'll fall forward to about the 34. Call it 2nd and 9. That's what you got to do. You got to have that variety of your plays.
Exactly.
They were hoping to pop Beasley through, but there was nothing doing by that Tabb defense. And what a defense it is! You see big number 75. There he is.
There he is, right there. There's the one guy that would intimidate anyone.
Yep.
6'7", and he's listed at 285, but I think he looks a little bigger.
A little bit. Second down, 9 yards to go.
Now we have a stoppage of play for some reason.
Make it 2nd and 8. And the official wants to
just readjusting.
Push it back a hair.
Yeah, readjusting the set of the ball there.
Yep. So it'll be 2nd down and 8 yards to go from the 34. Ratliff turns and pitches to Davis, looking for room. Great block, 35-40, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line. He got a great block on the outside. When you take a look at that again, he got an absolute superb block. I didn't see who it was.
I didn't either. But he was pushed out of bounds by number 89, Jim Rorick.
Here it is. That's the end of the